not recyclable. So we have come up with the idea to recycle the cigarette butts into the mosquito repellents and the soft filling of the toys. In 2020, the CPCB in India said that we have to recycle these cigarette butts so for the better consumption and production of the resources, but it has not been done, so it needs to be recycled. We reach the soft toys producing companies through the social media and even place some mosquito repellents in all the stores and general stores so that it is accessible for the people to buy it. In this, we break down the cigarette butts into different parts, which are then recycled into the mosquito repellents and the soft filling of the toys. Our project covers 3 SDG goals. SDG goal number 11, sustainable cities and communities. SDG goal number 12, responsible consumption and production of the resources, and even SDG goal number 15, life on land. In this, the impact of a project is building green products, reducing the GHG emissions. GHG is the carbon dioxide and other gases that are released into the atmosphere, promoting innovation, boosting an economy of our country. In the future, I want to recycle the cigarette butts into the furnitures, eyewear, and even the air purifiers. I want to supply my bins to different malls and even place at general places so that the people can discard their used cigarette butts into the bins, which can be used by us to recycle it. There are some of the challenges that we have faced that are make it cost effective, making our cigarette butts, making our mosquito repellents available at every general store, and overcoming the risk of the health of the people recycling the butts. Yeah. Yes. We need the cigarette butts to make this, and even some acids, mild acids that are added into the cigarette butts to purify it.
So, first of all, huge round of applause for Ramon. I think this paves the way for all young entrepreneurs to be even thinking in this direction of, working on something so innovative. He's going to show the prototype, but meanwhile, any questions? Investors, any questions for Ramon? I can see Dr. Anirudh, he's the brain behind DCM Young Entrepreneur School. I think he also deserves a huge round of applause to be molding these kids, into thinking something so innovative. Dan Ramon, what money do you need? All the investors are sitting. Make the best use, come on.
These are recycled by hands. Only the machines are needed to purify it and process them into the soft filling of the toys and the mosquito repellents. These machines are nearly 1 or 2 lakhs, not more than that.
So you just need 2 lakh
yeah.
rupees? Don't leave any of them. Just look at the faces. Don't leave them. Once the session is over, take the money and then go home. Okay, I've shown you the faces. He can't hear you. Can you pass on the mic? Catch all the smokers, he's saying. So please, big hand for Ramon. Thank you so much. All the best, all the best. So after these 2 amazing kid entrepreneurs, we are back to, again, some serious business, serious pitching. And since now the stage has been set, some amazing pitches have been given. Now let's move ahead with the first pitch of the day, which is Extra Mile, and we have the founder, Pooja Bajaj, here. Extra Mile is a cutting-edge team-building platform designed to foster productivity, engagement, and collaboration in the workspace. Pooja, you have 5 minutes for pitching, 5 minutes for Q&A. Stage is all yours. All the best.
After the kidpreneurs, seriously, no pressure. Glad our future's in great hands. Can we go back to the first slide? Right. So Elon Musk says we must work 90 hours a week to change the world. And many in India agree. Well, there are others who believe that work-life balance is the key to success. What if I told you that none of these extremes is the real problem? The real problem is disengagement. Employees who show up to work but are not actually present at work. This costs companies $340 billion in disengagement cost. And do you know, when enterprises have employees scattered across 300, 400 locations, it further aggravates the problem. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Pooja, and I have launched the new age team building platform for the workplaces of today. No longer can the traditional old fun Fridays and samosa parties only help keep the employees engaged. We need to move to a more tech-based solution, and for that, we launched the Netflix of engagement. Think of this as ready-to-use experiences across an employee life cycle, such that employees, no matter where they work from, are engaged with their managers, because we all know we join organizations, but we leave our managers. With their teams, because that's when you come together and be productive. And of course, peer-to-peer. We launched in 2021, end of 21, 22 is when we started selling, and we saw these specific use cases. HR using their engagement budget to engage employees across the country, managers for everyday engagement with their teams, and the game changer, which is user engagement. This is where there will be a change in productivity. Think of it as a football team, a team that focuses on their own personal growth, their professional growth, but they have a common goal to succeed. With our platform, there has been an increase in the engagement levels as vetted in their engagement survey reports, which then has impact on productivity and overall success of the company. Our business model is of a B2B SaaS subscription. You engage based on the number of users you have in the company for the duration of either quarterly contracts or annual contracts. So let's talk some numbers. Today, we've tapped over 140 organizations. As on this year, we have 124 active clients. And what are they saying about our product? That it has helped doubled their engagement rates, it has helped engage their teams across the country, and has also boosted their engagement levels. We're going after the large enterprises. Enterprises in India that are 60,000 with over 500 employees. That is our key TG, because that's where the problem of disengagement lies the most. Our objective is to go for the hockey stick. With 140 clients, we believe we'll be able to reach another 1,000 in the next 18 to 24 months. And for that, we of course need your support. Today, we're a team of 26 members. I lead sales. I have a co-founder who leads our tech business, and we have the entire product in-house. Our ask from you is for an investment of 500,000, of which we have currently Mount Judy Ventures who have already joined us, to be able to invest in our product, to be able to invest in customer acquisition. I personally lead the sales team, and I know with a robust one, we'll be able to reach our numbers faster. Happy to take your questions.
Thank you, Pooja, for a great pitch and very crisp on time. Now I open the round for Q&A. If there are any questions, investors can raise hand and we can pass on the mic.
What's your current traction right now? How much ARR and how many customers you have closed?
We started at less than 3 crores in the first year. Then we did about 4.8 to 5 in the second year. This year we'll be closing at approximately 6 crores.
This is from how many customers?
From 124 active clients.
Any industry focus or this across industry?
We started with BFSI. I personally am in Mumbai, so I tap my network of BFSI, which is insurance companies, NBFCs. Then we moved on to pharmaceutical companies, so these two have been our largest sectors.
Got it. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
Pooja. This is Manik from TiECON Capital. Want to just curious to know, like, how would you compete with the likes of Darwin Box and Total Rewards? They may not be in this space right now, but given their massive distribution rails in the existing organizations, they can quickly create this model and sort of outcompete you. How do you compete with them?
Thank you for asking that. We're actually integrating with Pine Labs in the next month. Pine Labs has a rewards and recognition platform, and they currently only do customer engagement, not really much of employee engagement. So we see these guys as great partners to have. In a month, you'll find all of the engagement points that our enterprises earn can be redeemed on Pine Labs for their rewards and recognition. So yes, they'll be a great partnership, not really a competition. Not able to hear you, sorry.
First of all, very crisp presentation. So you mentioned that you have existing investors. Could you please tell us what was the round like and what was the valuation fetched and what was the revenue at that time?
Sure. We raised our first angel round pre-product. We had 4 angels, one of which is a client turned investor who joined 6 months into our journey, the CHRO at ZTV. He's currently still with us. It was a 15 CR valuation. They invested 80 lakhs. That's been our only round so far. Now we're going for our institutional round, and we have a commitment from Mount Judy Ventures for a minimum of 1 crore, and that's at a 30 CR valuation.
Thank you.
Any other question? Okay, please.
Hello. What's your current burn rate, and after like the round, what are you expecting the burn rate will be and how it will increase?
We've been profitable so far, and that is something that we've organically grown and put our profits back into the business. So burn rate has been very low in the last 3 months because we've hired in the sales team. With our investment of 4 crores, we don't see, we will be profitable. Last year we closed at a 12% PAT, so we're hoping to reach that number sooner than later. This 4 CR is particularly going into AI resources to build an AI journey into our products so that we are able to automate the analytics that we give today manually. Secondly, sales team, we just have 3 people, including me. So we're really looking to push for that. And the third most important is that we've been only growing through my corporate network. It's time to go out there on LinkedIn, at HR Tech Summits, People Matters, SHRM, and market ourselves to a wider universe through marketing efforts.
Thank you.
Any last? Okay. Please, we have another 1 minute. Any last questions, please, we can take up.
Could you take us back to the pricing slide that you had, please?
The
pricing slide. I think it was 28 rupees per employee.
Business model. Can you please open the presentation?
So while they put it up, it's a subscription-based model. We have plans as per the number of users. So you see, you filter 100 users, 1,000 users, 500 users. A standard plan is where you just simply use the product with 180 games. A premium plan is where we give you our facilitators on a Zoom or a Teams call.
Understood. I was just trying to understand what is the profit margins like. Could you also take us through the fixed cost that you have on a monthly basis?
Yes.
So that I understand what is the bare minimum turnover that you need to be profitable or to remain profitable.
Perfect. So our fixed
3% and a lifetime value which is increasing by the month. So just to add some figures, about 6 months ago our lifetime value was at 1800. As of Jan, 3130. As of Feb, 3300. So these are just increasing as we proceed ahead. This is how performance has been for the e-commerce part. 60% of our revenue is coming in from fresh produce. Fresh produce is divided into organic and natural fruits, organic natural vegetables, whole and skimmed milk, and goat milk products. So paneer, for example, is another product which is involved in our dairy. So we are kind of having a split between various segments that we are looking at into, and the remaining about 30-35% is coming from the other. That includes grocery, your instant food, your wellness segment, your sauces, your snacks, your pickles, all of that.
Keep your answers brief,
Is it-
otherwise we'll not be able
Is
to
it
solve
among
all the
fruits and
questions.
vegetables any particular fruit or vegetable or hydroponic which is selling the most?
So this keeps on changing from season to season. Like for example, the December season was there. We had berries going on a lot, like strawberries, raspberries, blueberries. Now again, the summers is coming. I know my most selling is going to be mangoes.
We believe in selling the freshest ones, so we don't too much do in terms of cold stored ones and all. So whatever is in the season, that's what we promote.
Hi, great pitch. Could you also help me with your unit economics?
You can
So,
take it up for B2B. I'll take it up.
Yeah, so B2B typically it depends on, like apple sourced from Kinnaur and sold in Delhi market, our gross margins are around 60%, but majority of it goes into loading, unloading, packing and the transportation cost, but we make around 6 to 8% net margin on every transaction we do in case of fruits. The similar dynamics for vegetable is around 2 to 3% of net margin on every transaction. So we are EBITDA break even in the B2B business. B2C, you quickly take it up.
B2C gross margins, net of discounts, returns, cancellations, etc., stand anywhere between 38 to 40%. Our operational costs, which includes my razor pay charges, my packing, labor, logistics, wastage, that's about 15 to 16%. I've got my marketing costs at roughly about 20%, so I'm CM to break even. Now, any additional sales is going to start diluting my fixed costs. My fixed costs are my salaries and my rentals and retainers.
So B2B business is EBITDA positive, just to reiterate, and B2C business is CM2 positive, which means any increase in sales is further going to dilute and make it towards EBITDA break even.
And of the 20 crore ARR, how much is B2B and D2C?
1/3 is B2C, 2/3 is B2B. B2B is always volume business, yeah.
Thank you.
35-65 ratio.
Can we, yeah, please,
Another
next question.
Like, any specific basis for your valuation of 80 crores?
Last round we had done was a friends and family round in October, November, December 23, which is around 15 months back from there. That was at 35 crore post-money valuation. We raised around 2.5 crore at that time. And we have grown 4 times since then. We have improved all our KPIs, becoming CM2 positive in B2C business. And EBITDA, we are at a single digit number overall. We are much ahead of many of our competitors because of very high retention rate and a very high website conversion rate. We are at 6%, while most of our competitors operate at 2.5% conversion rate on website. Our ABB is more than double of almost all of our competitors.
But you feel you're going to achieve the same numbers when you come out of NCR?
Sorry, sir, I didn't.
When you come out of NCR, do you think you're going to achieve similar numbers?
I think
Are you
there is-
going to achieve similar numbers when you come out of Delhi?
Yeah, so we are planning to move out of NCR after making the NCR business EBITDA break even. That's what is from maybe 9 months from here. And we have shortlisted Chandigarh, Dehradun, Jaipur, and Lucknow, Chandigarh being the priority one. So that's what the plan is. We want to move in a different model where we are not into high burn model. There are companies who are competitor to us, maybe 10 times bigger than us. They are burning double the money at the EBITDA level. We are already at a smaller scale of 20 crore ARR. We are single digit EBITDA, and we plan to do it EBITDA break even by 60 crore ARR, which is probably 9 to 12 months from here.
Thank you.
Although time is up, but I'll allow one last question.
Thank you, Nitika. I'm obliged. You mentioned that your LTV, broadly speaking, is about 3,000, and your CAC is about 500 something, giving you a 6:1 ratio. Typically, we've seen that in many cases, founders struggle to hold this ratio as they scale up. While it's natural for that ratio to fall to maybe 5, 4, but what's your analysis say in terms of this ratio going forward?
Let me take this up. So just to provide a couple of numbers, about 9 months ago, we were at probably half the volume of what we are currently doing. That time CAC was at about 596, and 6 months ago, this was 6 months ago. Yeah, CAC was at 596, and my customer lifetime value was at 1800. As we've grown in volume also, the CAC has reduced and my customer lifetime value is going up, which is also starting to show up in the reduction of my marketing cost as a percentage of my total net sales.
I'll just add
So
one
you
line.
expect the
Just
CAC to
one line.
continue falling down going forward as you scale up?
It will be going up, sir, because of a simple reason, mathematical reason, that if more than 2/3 of our sales, 68% is coming from repeat buying from the customer whom we have already acquired, and less than 1/3 is coming from new acquisition, the lifetime value will keep on going up, and we intend to take it in maybe 9 to 12 months' time to 5,000 of lifetime value and around 500 of customer acquisition cost, which means 10x of lifetime value of customer.
So you do expect it to go from 6 to 10 as you go forward?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Great, so we are running out of time, but amazing pitch, and I think I want to see more hands this time based on the questions being asked. So what is the interest for KSKT? Just specifying not Kayamat se Kayamat tak, but Kisan se Kitchen tak. Any interest? They're saying if you negotiate on the valuation, I can hear this from there, then maybe there is interest. Are you open for valuation negotiation?
Minor one, yes. Minor one, yes. I'm okay with that. In fact, our existing investors have also asked us to consider it. The existing guys who have confirmed it. So we are open on a minor correction on this valuation.
Can we see some hands, please? Okay, nice, nice. I'm the most excited. But full hand, sir, full hand. We have to capture you. There is no going back from here. Great, great. That's a good interest to begin with, guys. Great job. And a huge startup from our own region. We have Beat22 and Ashish. You're going to explain what you do at Beat22. Please give Ashish a huge round of applause. 5 minutes for pitching and 5 minutes for Q&A.
Works. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, thanks to the entire TiE team, CAN team for the opportunity. Secondly, amazing pitch, kiddos. I mean, coming from my hometown, it kind of raises the bar. And lastly, welcome to the pitch session of Beat22.com, India's largest SaaS-enabled B2B marketplace for musicians. I'm Ashish, founder and CEO of Beat22.com, erstwhile illpeoplemusic.com. So I come from a background of investment banking, sales, and now e-marketplaces as well. I had strategy, finance, marketing, operation, pretty much everything of the platform. Then Kanav is here. He's here as well. I mean, he's the co-founder and CCO. He comes from a background of music production and engineering. He handles the content, strategy, operations on the platform. Apart from that, he has worked with the likes of Karan Aujla, Universal Music, Mass Appeal, etc. Lastly, we have an advisor in tech. He's Preet, comes from a diverse background of IT services industry, understands tech in and out, right? And for Beat22.com as well, he handles the product end to end. Then let's, before going forward, let's understand what we are trying to aggregate here, since we are a marketplace. So Beat, it's a musical composition which is being served as a raw material to a full-fledged song. So a song which people like you and me consume, Spotify, Apple Music, etc. These beats are being originally created by the music producers who we call as a seller on the platform. And then there are singers, which we call vocalists. I mean, these are the buyers on the platform. Both of these join the platform in the anticipation. So sellers join in the anticipation to sell their original creations, basically monetized. And then the buyers on the platform, they join the platform in the anticipation to buy the beats and create the full-fledged songs to distribute and make money through Spotify, Apple Music, etc. So the problem is like really huge when a music producer starts his career. He is just confined to one place, his studio, where he creates the beats day in and day out. So that's like a problem when it comes to the monetization, because the people who are visiting him, the musicians who are visiting him, actually, they make money through them and kind of, left with all those potential customers who are out there. So a platform where they can upload beats, local infrastructure is required. Second, reach and visibility is required. And third, licensing thing is required, which needs to be automated. Similarly, for the buyers, the vocalists, they visit multiple studios and to find the multiple beats for their tracks. So everything at one place for them is pretty much the need of the hour. So we came up with Beat22.com monetization tool. It's a we provide the music producers the tool to monetize sales and license their original creations. Beats Marketplace as a monetization tool is for their, for the buyer and sellers to interact on the platform and then finally exchange hands. And then we offer sales tools such as activity-based lead generation, negotiation, analytics, and website builder for their personal brand. So that's there. We have 30,000 musicians on the platform. 80% of them comes with a buyer profile. 20% comes with the seller profile, 40,000 beats are there on the platform. 72 lakh rupees of GMV have recorded so far since we have launched, which is back in 2022 September. 3,200 beats we have sold. We have, have answered to the major problem, which is we have reduced the song creation time by 86%. Yeah, so music industry, whom do we serve? How big it is? So we serve to 4.5 million music producers across the globe and 11 million vocalists across the globe. Then around 1.5 lakh tracks are being daily distributed onto the Spotify, Apple Music. This means people are paying to distribute these tracks, hence the seriousness is there in making money out of it. Why we are doing this? I mean, why this platform or maybe why a marketplace? $28 billion recorded music industry it is. Majority of the revenues are being contributed by the streaming platform. So more the streaming revenues, more will be the payouts and to the musicians. Hence, they would require more songs to come in. For that, they need more instrumentals, and hence marketplace like us exist. We position ourselves as the marketplace for Asian Asian musicians across the globe, and that's why we have more than 50 countries. Orders coming from 50 countries at the moment. So in terms of the revenue, we monetize basically from 4 channels rather. So when a seller signs up on a platform between a free pack and a paid plan, if they choose a free plan, they get limited by the tech, and then whatever they sell, we make commission over it. Then we have a subscription revenue where we charge the subscription amount on monthly and annual basis, and at the same time, they enjoy the various SaaS-enabled features. Irrespective of the fact whether they make sales or not, we charge the subscription amount. Then advertisement is something which is going to come up, help them bring their beats up in the queue. From the buyers, we charge a platform fee whenever they make a sales. Premium plan is around 3,999, and then Pro plan is around 5,999. 30,000 musicians are there. 5 lakh GMV is something we record on monthly basis. 1,800 buyers we have monetized, and 830 sellers we have been able to monetize. 4 lakh users we look forward to onboard, and that is going to generate around 26.2 crores of revenue and 6.3 crores of net revenue for us. We look forward to raise 1 crore, and 65 lakhs of that has already been raised, 15 lakhs by an angel investor, and 50 lakhs of term sheet we have gotten from a media tech fund. We are working on the DD. Thanks.
Thank you, Ashish. Do you want water? You need break?
No, nothing, thanks.
Yeah, you good for Q&A? You were like full on, I have to use the full 5 minutes. Big hand for Ashish, please. Okay, and now the time for Q&A. Any questions for Ashish and ILL Music? Yes, please.
Could you just recap the traction for us?
Sure. So we have 30,000 musicians on the platform. Out of them, around 20% are the sellers. They have uploaded more than 40,000 beats. In terms of the sales, we generate around GMV of 5 lakh rupees on a monthly basis. 72 lakh rupees of GMV have already recorded, so far. And then we make around 20% of whatever, GMV is. So a lakh rupee of revenues there roughly. And we are positive on the CM level 1. Then around 1,800 buyers we have been able to monetize. So 23,000 buyer profiles are there. Out of them, 8,000 were active. And around, I would say 15% of sales conversion we have registered. Just to compare it with Amazon, Flipkart, that has similar kind of a rate. But again, if we scale and get that rate, that's something amazing we can do. From the seller perspective, we have been able to monetize around, I would say 44% of our seller base. So that's pretty much there. And retention is around 28%.
Who's your ideal customer? Someone like running this event and you are giving a jingle for them, or podcast recording?
No. So we don't sell the background music. We sell an instrumental which is specifically designed to be converted into a track, a final song which people like you and me consume on daily basis. So music producer creates the original beats themselves. The vocalist is there who capitalize on that beat and record their vocals and finally distribute to Spotify, Apple Music, etc. So my clients, my customers directly are music producers and then the vocalists who are trying to make their career in music industry.
So, hi, this side. So very nice, I would say, platform that you've created, something unique. But can I understand, can this beat be bought by different people, one beat by different vocalists? Or
Yeah.
Can be.
Yes.
What's the
so-
average price of one beat?
Okay. So we have an average order value of around 2,100 rupees.
Okay.
That's there. Then these three licenses we offer. The first two we sell on non-exclusive basis, can be sold to multiple people at multiple times. So the exclusive one is something which is once sold can be taken down, it is taken down from the platform automatically. If you talk about the average license value, Wave goes for 1,000 rupees. Wave plus Temps, the second one, it goes for around 3,000 rupees. And then we have exclusive, it goes for around 5,000 rupees.
And what is your commission on that, typically apart from the subscription you get?
So we run on SaaS plus commission model. If the one who is selling the beat comes from a free tier, then we charge 20%. And if someone is, has bought the subscription plan, then we don't charge any commission. Instead, a gateway fee and nominal, gateway fee is charged, and we charge subscription on monthly or annual basis. So it's a recurring one, irrespective of the sales.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, but then who takes you? So, is there any concern about license infringement? How do you safeguard yourself?
See, I mean, it's a, you might have heard a lot of things about, कि ये गाना किसी से sound different कर रहा है, right? And hence this question is there. See, this industry revolves around licensing, and how beats are made are using basically different sounds. जहाँ से वो sounds ले रहे हैं, the music producers are acquiring the sounds from various platforms, and they are licensing it on non-exclusive basis. So we really can't say that this is not his beat, or maybe this is something he's infringing. That's in the hands of the content ID or beat ID providers like YouTube, etc., to define that, okay, this is something which is legit and this is not. Our role is to give the tool, and then at the same time help them to monetize through this mechanism. We do have certain checks in place, of course, when we onboard the sellers, and beat audio printing or sound audio printing is something which is there, which we look forward to integrate into our platform, using the fundraising amount as well. That comes at a cost.
Did you mention the valuation at which you are raising money?
Yeah, so it's around 7.5 crore post money.
Great. I think, are there any last questions? We still have 30 seconds. Yes.
Net annual sales, so I have of around, in the last 12 months only, 9 lakh rupees.
You've just begun the commercialization.
Yeah, so one thing, we were doing industry building exercise since last 2 years. Just only, I would say 8-9 months back, we started our monetization module, and that too we were offering for a very subsidized price. It's now, in January only we have started, and we have raised our prices to the real ones.
What is the biggest driver for scalability? What are your plans there?
Plans are, see, if we speak about, have GTM in place, so we look forward to onboard around 4 lakh users from India and India subcontinent rather, I would say, and Southeast Asian region. We are finding the partner for the global payout dispersal, and that's really a hurdle for us at the moment. I mean, we are figuring out with the partner in terms of cost. There are a lot of musicians out there who are looking forward to, get their beats and get the music production done, but it comes at a very high cost. So I think this will be a game-challenging product for them, and user acquisition is not a problem. We are acquiring users at less than 15 rupees.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now the time for the real question. How many hands up for Ashish? This side is being very conservative on raising hands. Guys, you need to, use all your checks and money you've brought. You're not taking it back. So be more, you have to give all the money to these amazing startups. Have we captured all these investors? Team? Please raise your hands once again. Great start, Ashish. All the best and well done. Well, good presentation. Guys, the applauses should keep running. As I say, one, they are doing some amazing businesses. Second, they need a lot of motivation from all of us to come here and pitch in front of the investors. Moving ahead, we have one more amazing startup called Propol. And we have Sanjeev, who's working on a very, very interesting product for the real estate industry. And stage is all yours, Sanjeev. You have 5 minutes exactly for pitching and 5 minutes for Q&A. All the best.
Hi everyone, I'm Sanjeev. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Propol. Propol generates hyper-realistic 3D walkthroughs of unbuilt real estate instantly. Construction companies struggle to communicate designs and layouts with customers. Today, they use traditional architectural drawings and static images to communicate designs. They need to make frequent revisions if design is not communicated clearly, leading to delayed project completion, sharp rise in project costs, and loss of new projects. Construction companies have started to use Propol to convert all their architectural drawings into interactive and configurable 3D walkthroughs in a matter of minutes. Here's an example of a typical floor plan we received from one of our customers. And this is the interactive walkthrough generated using Propol for the same floor plan in just a few minutes. Construction companies save weeks of time with our AI-driven real-time rendering technology. And the best part is, it is compatible with all existing architectural software and runs on any device, from your phone to your VR headset. Construction companies not only experience a 30% reduction in project execution times, but also a 40% increase in conversion rates. And we enable all of this through a simple B2B SaaS model at just 15 rupees per square foot. Approximately 4 billion square feet or 3.15 million square kilometers is planned to be constructed in the next financial year, that's financial year 25-26 in India alone, and that gives us a revenue opportunity of just over $700 million. Today, we have 15 paying enterprise customers, and we've clocked just over 10 lakh rupees in Jan 2025. We are growing at breakneck speed, and we are on track to hit 1.2 CR in monthly revenue by December 2025. I'm Sanjeev, and I'm building Propol with Aniket, who I've known for a decade. Previously, I was in the founding team of a startup acquired by TVS. I'm also a graduate from ISB's Emerging Leaders Program. Aniket handles technology for us. He's an MS in Artificial Intelligence from NTU in Singapore, one of the best universities for AI research in the world. Previously, he was a software engineer at Citrix. Join us on this journey. I'd love to answer any questions you guys might have.
Guys, unexpected, but he finished before time. Sanjeev, do you want to add something? Anything?
No, I'm good.
Your motivation? We can give you 1 more minute. Anything which you feel the investors are going to raise hands after listening to? Though you have covered everything, but we already have questions. Amazing. Please go ahead. Manik, please.
Thank you, Sanjeev. Great pitch. This is Manik from TiECON. I'm just curious, like people have tried something similar in the past. They have sort of like created rendering softwares. May not be like AI-driven or may not be in minutes, but they have done in the past, right? But they have not reached like mass adoption, or like, most of the builders or the architects don't use it, right? Where do you think the gap has been, and how do you fill this gap right now?
Right. So today, software such as Lumion, Enscape are rendering softwares that architects use. Almost every architect is associated with some sort of 3D designing agency who does renders for them, or uses Lumion or Enscape to prepare their own renders. Right? These are softwares that need 3D modeling to be done physically, which consumes anywhere between 3 to 4 weeks of time for an architect. Right? On top of that, after you've spent 3 to 4 weeks of time, the output that you get is static. It's an image, it's a render, right? Which is non-customizable. So any small change that the decision maker wants, the entire 3-week cycle will have to be repeated. And that causes a lot of delay in the project itself.
Sanjeev, so I have a quick question for you. What does your competition look like in the market? And can you also elaborate and tell us, like, in terms of the process, when you said you convert it into 3D images, what's your ideal customer profile?
So we work with construction companies. We are a little more of a technical tool rather than a rendering tool alone. Customers also derive bill of quantities, bill of materials, and such quantitative metrics. Since we work on an AI model which understands floor plans, surface area calculation, all of that is derived automatically. Today, our biggest competition is 3D designing agencies when it comes to the visualization aspect of it alone. There's another Chinese company called Kujiale, which is doing amazing work, but the only challenge is that because of regulatory concerns, they're not allowed to sell their software anywhere else across the globe, apart from China. But we benchmark ourselves against Kujiale from a technology standpoint, but biggest competition in India is 3D designing agencies as of today.
Sanjeev, one more question. Is the AI that you guys have developed, the intellectual property is all yours, built from scratch? That's first question. Second, how difficult it is to build it and it's not replicable by other competitors?
The IP is ours. It's not just the AI model, which is object detection that we use. Also, the framework of it is owned by Meta. They've built the foundation of the framework or the object detection model that they built. We've built our own stack on top of that to be specific for real estate. And we've also applied for a patent on it. It's an entire stack that we've built, not just object detection, but also conversion of any architectural drawing into an interactive and configurable 3D model that can convert 2D to 3D on any device in a matter of minutes. That's the process that we've applied for a patent on.
So Sanjeev, you're saying it can convert any 2D drawing to 3D with a rendering facility right within minutes?
Yes.
That's an
Architectural drawings. So if it's
That's
a CAD
excellent.
drawing, it happens in a matter of minutes. So architects typically use two softwares, SketchUp and CAD. That is the fastest. If it's a PDF or a PNG, which is not to scale, there the accuracy is slightly lower. We're at about 85% accuracy, where the measurements are slightly off.
But you would pick up only from the floor plan, or you would pick up from the elevations as well?
Today, it's mostly for interiors. For elevation, we support only SKP files, that is SketchUp files.
But when you've created all these elevations, so I was wondering how you're creating elevations without knowing what is required.
Oh, so height of the walls you're talking about?
Yeah, that's right.
So height of the walls is set at 10 feet automatically by the model, and then you can just manually enter whichever feet you require to increase or decrease the height of it. It's configurable, like I mentioned.
But if I'm seeing a cabinet, let's say on a floor plan, you're just going to see a floor, a size of 4 feet by 2 feet.
Right.
Nothing else, but you've created drawers or anything. So how are you really going to do that? I'm surprised on that.
Right. So in a CAD drawing, like you mentioned, only the surface area is mentioned. The style or the how it physically appears would not be mentioned.
Yes.
So we've built catalogs wherever we don't have visual references, or for example, customers also up where they can directly drag and drop from that.
And we have to give these drawings to you or anybody,
It
or I
up-
can just
you
go
upload
on your
it. We
website
work on
and
an
do
API
it yourself.
integration model. You upload everything onto the API.
Excellent.
Okay, I can see the hand one in the corner, please.
Good pitch. This is Bhavan from Ahmedabad. I have two questions for you. First question, what does your sales cycle look like right now? And second question is that if you break down your revenue, percentage of revenue which you bring from selling this as a SaaS product, or second part would be services you provide on a project basis.
Right. So coming to the second question first, what is the breakup? 50% of our revenue comes from our top 3 customers, that's Brick and Bolt, JSW, Amazon. Amazon uses to build warehousing across the country. Right. The rest 50% comes from the rest 12 other enterprise customers we have. Right. When it comes to sales cycle, it takes 6 weeks for us to go from first contact to signing off a contract with a long-term partnership with a customer. That's typically 1 to 3 years contract that we sign with each customer.
Sorry, my second question was more about the services part and the SaaS
Right.
model.
Sorry.
So you answered the 50% business from 3 customers.
Right. Today, we are an assisted services. 100% SaaS happens only with CAD drawings. Right. That is our largest customers. It's 100% SaaS, but some of our smaller customers, it's still assisted services. We want to go, as the model gets trained more with customers uploading more and more data of theirs, we'll move towards a pure SaaS model probably in the next 6 months.
Okay. And last question, one more question. The Chinese competitor you mentioned, you think they are like benchmark for your technology stack. So is their business model the same? Services first and then software?
No, so
I know
they
the
have-
market is different, but just want to understand.
Right. It's slightly different there. You have to install the software. They sell it on a contract basis, like a traditional software being sold. You install it on a system which renders everything for you.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I'm really sorry, but we are running out of time. But having a lot of questions is always good. I think it's your strategic move to keep the presentation crisp so that you can have a lot of questions. But yes, now is the time for the real action. How many hands up for Propol? Valuation, please.
20 CR pre-money.
And the round size?
We're raising 3 CR. We have 1.5 CR in hard commitments as of today.
1 CR hard committed, 3 CR is the total round size, and 20 CR pre-money valuation. Guys, I am hoping for a lot of more hands this time. Sanchit, you keep it down, okay? Let the front row do it. Come on, yes, how many hands, please? Okay, okay. Good to see some hands from here also this time. Great, great, great. Team, have you captured all the pictures? Good to go. So great, great, great presentation, Sanjeev, and a huge round of applause for him. Sorry? Sanjeev, 1 second, 1 second. You want to meet? Okay. Yeah.
Can you name the Chinese company? I couldn't get the name. Sorry?
Yeah,
It's called Kujiale. Kujiale.
Okay, so now with Propol and an amazing product for construction companies, we are moving to another amazing startup called Shiplog. And we have the founders, Kamal Sharma and Prateek with us. Guys, quickly onto the stage. Huge round of applause for Team Shiplog. 5 minutes for pitching, 5 minutes for Q&A. You want one hands free? Okay. Can you open the pitch deck? Yes.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. And thanks, Nitika, for this opportunity today. I'm Kamal Sharma. I'm having more than 16 years of corporate experience in a multiple leadership role. I started with Honda two-wheelers. Then after I moved to Ola Electric and then Greaves Electric Mobility. At Shiplog, we are solving a generic issue of quick deliveries for D2C brands. Currently, majority of D2C brands are generating their revenue around 50 to 60% from their website, and rest are from marketplaces and the quick delivery platforms. They have to give 25% of extra commission to them for the quick deliveries only. And for 50 to 60% revenue they are generating from website, they are dependent on the conventional logistic players, and they logistic player are taking 3 to 5 days delivery timeline. So example, Gurgaon mein koi customer hai, D2C brand is available in Noida. So currently they are taking 3 days delivery timeline to deliver their products. So now at Shiplog, we are trying to solve this major problem for these D2C brands so that they can increase their revenue directly from the website through achieving the quick deliveries. We are working as an enabler, and we are enabling quick deliveries for D2C brand. So Shiplog is giving 3 options to these D2C brand. First is 4-hour delivery, second is same-day delivery, and third is next-day delivery. So majority problem these D2C brand are facing nowadays, high delivery TAT and low delivery percentage, high cart abandonment, third is high RTO percentage, fourth is low conversion on their website only due to high delivery timeline which they are generating revenue from the website. I want to set one context here. Before 2014, courier companies was there. After that, e-commerce companies like Amazon, Flipkart, Jabong, Snapdeal came into picture, and major company like Delivery, Ecom Express, Expressbees came in the picture, and they solved the problem of high delivery timeline of 12 days, and they reduced the TAT of 12 to 7 days. Now again, the same situation is there because everybody is saying about the quick commerce, quick deliveries. So now there is a window open for the new startups which they can solve this problem of quick deliveries. So currently, when you will see at website, due to high delivery timeline, 40% of the customer are check out from the website. 25% extra commission they have to pay to these. They have to pay to these quick delivery platform or the marketplaces. And they have to spend more 29% of CAC on the website to acquire the customer again. This is the advantage of same-day delivery versus 3 to 5 day delivery. 50% reduction in the RTO, 2x purchase extra on their website, and 40% higher conversion rate on their website. How we are achieving? First, we are offering 4-hour delivery in which you have to keep some inventory at our dark store network. Because your WMS and our OMS are integrated, whenever you will receive the order on your website, we will execute the last mile delivery on your behalf and in your branding only. You no need to depend on the quick delivery platform where you will dilute your brand visibility. Despite of that, you have your own technology available. We are offering same-day delivery in which we are picking the orders, no need to keep inventory our dark store network. We are picking the orders on your warehouse, and our technology will short at that particular time because the conventional logistic player are working on hub and spoke model where आपको बड़ा warehouse चाहिए, वहाँ पे आप short करोगे, then you will distribute to the distribution center, and after that you will execute the last mile delivery. Whereas we are only shorting the products at the warehouse of D2C brand and execute the last mile delivery. We have applied for the patent as well because we are shorting the delivery timeline. So far we have achieved 4 lakh deliveries on same day delivery basis we are doing. 19% we have reduced the fulfillment cost of our D2C brand. 83% we have reduced in the TAT and 95% reduction in the RTO, and currently we are achieving 99% of the DSR. This is the market size, but the main point here is in India, 12 million deliveries are happening on daily basis on e-commerce side. So this is the majority problem, and we have to transform this 12 million deliveries in quick commerce segment. This is the competitive landscape. We have compared ourselves with Pick and Dell and Blitz. Majorly, we are competing with Blitz because they have just raised some amount. They are also offering same day, next day, and fulfillment deliveries through dark store network. They are working in the southern part of India, and we are in Delhi NCR. Currently, we are doing 14,000 deliveries per day on same day delivery basis. So this is our business and revenue model. On an average, we are generating a revenue of 30 rupees, out of which 4 rupees is our first and last mile, mid-mile cost. 18 rupees is our last mile cost. Operational level, we are generating a gross margin of 26%. Hub cost is 1.52, manager supervisor cost is 2.6, and technology per delivery is 1.48. So in a net margin level, we are generating 2.24 rupees, that is around 8%. But whenever we will scale with the existing dark store network, the economies of scale, so that net margin will increase up to 5%, and we will achieve 12% at a net margin level. So being a bootstrap company since last 2 years, we started our journey in late 2020. But operation we have started in 2022. In FY23, we did 2 crore as a net revenue. And in FY24, we did 8 CR. And this year, we are targeting to achieve almost 12 crore rupees. Just now, till January, we have achieved 10.5 CR. So being a bootstrap company, we've shown our commitment and courage to solve the major problem. This is our customer base. This is our core team. We have a core team of ex-founders. So currently, we are raising 6 CR, out of which 54 lakh we have already received in the bank account. And majorly, we will utilize this fund only for expansion, because currently, in last 1 month, we did the integration with 21 new D2C brand and the aggregators, and they have committed us for the new 25,000 orders a day, so that we will achieve 40,000 delivery on same day delivery basis, which will give us MRR of 3 crore plus. So now we are inviting all the esteemed investors to solve and guide us to solve this major problem and revolutionize this quick deliveries with us. Thank you so much.
Just one quick question. In terms of, do you have a previous raise as well, or did you raise?
So this is our first round.
Okay.
There's a continuation of this first round. We have received 54 lakh in our bank account.
6 crore is, what's the valuation? Sorry, I missed that.
So 50 CR pre-money, on which we have received 54 lakh in our bank account.
Okay.
So
All right.
currently our ARR is 15 CR, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi. This side, please. If you could just recap your unit economics and the slide which had your customers.
This is the unit economics, in which we have not mentioned the fulfillment cost. This is only the delivery cost. So fulfillment is over and above 80 paisa per cubic feet per day, and 25 rupees is the handling cost, over and above this 30 rupees. So based on the average revenue we have shown here. Yeah.
If you can just pull out your competition slide.
appreciate.
Yeah, so Shadowfax, Delivery, all the older companies, what is holding them back from bringing this model onto their...
So currently, Delivery, Shadowfax are working on hub and spoke model. Basically, their process is designed in such a way that they can't achieve the same day delivery, because if they have to change their process, they require a huge capex and the time, so that they can change complete model to achieve the same day delivery. But we are not saying they will not do, they will do, but they require certain time period. When we will scale, then only they will do.
And very quickly, I think you skimmed through the clients wala slide. Who are your biggest clients right now?
This is our clients.
Thank you.
Yeah, any other questions? Yes, please.
Hi Kamal, one quick question. So for your expansion plans, you said you'll be establishing multiple dark stores.
Yeah.
So what's your plan around the capex and inventory risk associated with it?
Sorry, I didn't
They
get.
could not understand your question, please.
So what's your plan around the capex which will be there in the dark store building and the inventory risk? How are you going to manage that?
So currently for opening a new dark store, we required only 100 square feet wala area only. So for opening a new dark store, we required almost 2 lakh rupees in capex and almost 1.25 in opex. So because currently we are not doing in grocery and we do not require any cold chain in dark store, we are doing the apparels and cosmetic products. So for opening a dark store, we require 2 lakh in capex and inventory model, because currently we have applied for the patent for our technology. Currently we are handling through our technology only. Because every D2C brand having their own WMS system, and their WMS and our OMS is already integrated.
And what about the inventory risk? Would the brand subventing the inventory?
No, currently the D2C brand are keeping their products on FOC or stroke transfer basis. We are not buying the products.
Got it, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still have some more time. Are there any questions from any of the investors? Okay, so we are good here. Now for the time of interest, anybody who is interested? Okay, there's question. Okay, please.
Hi. I just want to understand your tech stack. You are talking about you have done a patent. So can you just put some light on it? This is my first question. And second is because I just want to understand your unit economics, because सबसे ज़्यादा part fulfillment में जाएगा, which is very cost heavy from my perspective. So can you just answer these two?
नहीं, fulfillment में इसलिए नहीं जाएगा because we do not require बड़ा warehouse. बड़ा warehouse is around 2 lakh square feet वाला area. Then they require the overhead cost. और उसके बाद वो short करते हैं capex. There is huge capex they are means using for opening a new warehouses.
You are doing this, na? These capex.
नहीं, we are doing only 1500 square feet वाला area ना. So we no need of multiple big warehouses जहाँ पे हम लोग short करेंगे, फिर distribution center पे भेजेंगे, then we will execute the last mile delivery. Whereas we are using our dark store as a fulfillment center, जहाँ पे हम लोग short भी कर रहे हैं, execute भी कर रहे हैं last mile delivery.
Okay, how this
Mike.
Okay. So for patent technology, like example, I'll give you the use case of delivery. So first delivery is doing the milk run with the multiple D2C brand. वो अपने mother warehouse पे लेके जाता, that is around 35 kilometer far from the center of the city. वहाँ पे वो short करते हैं based on the distribution center, जहाँ पे pin code और distribution center के, फिर वो distribution center पे जाएगा, वहाँ पे they will execute for last mile delivery. The whole process is taking currently 3 to 4 days, average 5 days to execute the last mile delivery. Whereas जहाँ से हमने जितने भी D2C warehouse से हमने पिक किया, हमारी टेक्नोलॉजी ने उसको वहीं पे शॉर्ट कर दिया. वी डू नॉट नीड कि वो मदर वेयर हाउस में जाएगा, वहाँ पे शॉर्टिंग प्रोसेस होगा, जहाँ पे वो कन्वेयर रहेगी, ऑप्टिकल सिस्टम्स रहेंगे जो शॉर्ट करेंगे. हमारे पास हमारे टेक्नोलॉजी ने बता दिया कि कौन सा प्रोडक्ट कौन से डार्क स्टोर पे जाएगा और वहाँ से वो हम लास्ट माइल डिलीवरी को एग्जीक्यूट करते हैं. सो फॉर दैट प्रोसेस ओनली वी आर अप्लाइड फॉर पेटेंट.
Which technology is this?
Means tech stack you are asking? So currently Node.js and Flutter we are using. No, that is in-house.
Okay, so I think we are running out of time for Q&A. Now is the time for showing interest. Any hands up for Shiplog? Guys, I think they are working on a great product. At least we can give them a chance for a deep dive. How many hands for deep dive? And understand their technology well? Okay, I can see one. 2, 3, nice. Is that a good start?
Yeah, thank you.
Great, great. All the
Thank
best,
you,
guys.
everyone.
Thank you
Thank you
for a
so
great
much.
presentation. Thank you. Guys, please keep the applauses going and a huge round of applause for Shiplog team, please. Okay, so before we move ahead with some of the remaining amazing startup pitches, there's going to be a very nice, small, interesting conversation happening here for all of you, for the amazing startups who have come here, even for the investors, because I am 100% sure that this chat is going to be super, super exciting for all of you. And to have this fireside chat, we have one of a very prolific entrepreneur with us today, Yashovardhan Sabu, also popularly known as Yasho, is the founder of Ethos Watch Boutiques, India's largest luxury watch retail chain. An IIM Ahmedabad graduate, he started his career in manufacturing before launching KDDL Limited and later Ethos in 2003. A passionate watch collector and entrepreneur, Mr. Sabu has played a key role in bringing global horology to India. Beyond business, he's also a wine enthusiast, sharing his love for timepieces and fine living on social media. I think he deserves a huge round of applause from all the audience sitting here. Guys, we have somebody who's achieved a lot and is here to share your story. And before I invite him on stage, I'm going to also request Mr. Bobby Garg, who's the founder and CEO of Passion Gaming, a board member of Chandigarh Angels Network, and also a very active and prolific investor who runs a product-based global mobile gaming company. In his 2 decades of professional experience in the US and UK, he has successfully built few startups, including one which was listed at the London Stock Exchange. He's an angel investor and also has invested in dozens of startups. Not limited to just being an investor, he lends himself to mentoring founders who have gone beyond the proof of concept stage. He holds 3 master degrees from US universities. So, apology in advance if I have pronounced or if you have made, because you guys have done so much, so I'm sure I could have missed out on some key information. But we are super, super excited for this fireside chat. And while these 2 gentlemen are coming on stage, can we have the intro video for Ethos being played on the screen? Amazing, amazing intro. A huge round of applause, and I think the stage is all yours. Bobby, sir, over to you. Guys.
Nitika. Thank you, Nitika,
Yes,
for
please,
wonderful introductions. I'm overwhelmed, actually. Those were great presentations. You can hear me okay, Nitika?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody can hear them?
Yeah.
Please give a thumbs up. Okay, great. Please.
So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Bobby. It's my great pleasure and honor to be sitting in company of Mr. Yasho Sabu, somebody who I've known for some time, probably a few decades. And incidentally, I was there at the opening of the first Ethos. It was a wonderful evening. I still remember it very fondly. It's, I have lately ventured into probably last decade or so into my own startup. And Ethos has been a motivating force for me in terms of an entrepreneurial journey originating from Chandigarh and proliferating to being a publicly limited company. So I I would like to say, in my opinion, it'll be very fair to say that Yasho is a OG of entrepreneurship from Chandigarh. So it's a pleasure and it's an honor to be having this conversation with him. So I'll dig straight into it. Yasho, you have built into ethos into a luxury brand, watch retailer, and I'm sure this pivoting from precision manufacturing to entrepreneurship, from engineering to entrepreneurship and luxury retail, it must have come with some challenges and some thought process. How did it come out to be that pivot happened for you?
Good afternoon, everybody. It's a big pleasure and honor to be here, part of TiECON after many, many years. Thank you very much for the very generous introduction, and Bobby, especially to you. We are between friends and, you know,
2 decades.
you don't have to be so generous, but thank you anyway. So entrepreneurship, you know, I believe that while all successful entrepreneurs are very similar, the journey of each entrepreneur is completely unique. And coming to your question, so manufacturing, of course, was something that I understood. And the reason to go into retail was actually not very logical. And that's one of the points that I want to make, is that there's a big part of entrepreneurship which actually comes from the gut. Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think you want to make it work, right? So when I thought of getting into retail of watches, that was the time when practically all imported watches that were sold in India were smuggled into the country. Everything was being smuggled. And my vision was that let's set up nice big stores. Why? Because that's the way watches are retailed everywhere in the world, and sooner or later, India will follow that. Which also meant that we're going to be in malls, we're going to be at airports. Nothing of this was happening at that time. Watch retail stores were small shops. Most of the watches were smuggled, so they were kept in briefcases. I don't know how many of you ever bought a Swiss watch or a mechanical watch back in those days. In Bombay, there used to be something called Hirapanna market, right? In Delhi, there was 1 or 2 shady places. I don't want to name them because they're still around. You know, in this kind of a situation, we thought of putting up a large store. Of course, everything being official, everything being officially imported. And then to try to sell watches like an Omega or a Tag Heuer. At that time, you know, you could get an Omega for about 50,000 rupees. But to say कि नहीं जी ये तो bill के साथ ही मिलेगा, tax भी लगेगा, tax दिया हुआ है. People used to think you are crazy or what? The brands itself used to say, are you crazy or what? So it was not logical. Every retailer, every brand came and said कि साबू ये तो पंगा ले लिया तूने. But I felt that जो दुनिया में हो रहा है वो एक दिन यहाँ भी होगा. And eventually, I think entrepreneurship is about taking a panga somewhere. So that's how we got into it.
Very well said. But when you were creating it, I'm sure there was a price consciousness in Indian market. Generally, it's perceived. You did answer that you could buy for 50,000. But there is a price conscious segment, maybe not now, but at least at that time when you initiated. So how was it in the beginning to convince the consumer of the pricing of something that they were buying, which was unheard of, or shifting their preferences to a higher priced item, a luxury good?
Very difficult. I mean, price sensitivity or price consciousness is even today. And one of the funny things about this business is the wealthier the client, the harder he negotiates, right? So, agar koi, you know, and the reason, of course, is the money doesn't matter. The negotiation is actually to satisfy the ego, that vada kaun, right? So that is the thing. But anyway, coming back to price consciousness, it is still there, and it was there as well. And of course, when we were paying taxes, the prices had to be higher. How did we actually, it took a long time to overcome that. But the one thing that we did, which was actually path-breaking in many ways, almost at a global level. From day one, we advertised the MRP, the official MRP of the watch, of every watch was on the website and in the store. Why was that so revolutionary? Because typically in the Indian market at that time, other watch retailers of brands like Omega, Tag Heuer, whatever, मान लीजिए घड़ी की MRP 1 लाख है. MRP किसको पता है? There was no rule to display the MRP. The Legal Metrology Act didn't exist at that time. Anyway, the watches were smuggled, so there was no question of displaying anything. Typically, they would say, अच्छा इसकी price क्या है? 1,20,000 है जी, लेकिन आपको 30% discount मिल जाएगा, right? And funnily enough, the customer never bothered to check the real price, but they started to haggle on the discount. कि नहीं 30 नहीं 35 दे दो. The difficulty was also there was no way of checking the MRP, right? There were no websites at that time. You couldn't go to the Omega website and check what is the price of this watch. So when we started to mark the prices, and we started to say we are transparent. Why don't you ask your retailer what is the price? Let him quote the price and then you ask the other guy, कि जी इसकी MRP क्या है हमको दिखा दीजिए. But he doesn't have it, the watch is smuggled. People started to say that, okay, maybe I'm not getting the right thing, right? Maybe from a competitor, maybe I should trust ethos more. So in many ways, this was a slow process, but it was built on trust.
That's brilliant, actually. So consumer was made knowledgeable about the MRP as a matrix that helped build credibility for ethos as well in the process.
Yes. And very interestingly, one of the group of people who objected to this were the brands themselves. The brands themselves sometimes felt, at that time, the brands were opposed to retailers putting the MRPs on their website. And the reason was at that time, brands had very different retail pricing in different countries. So they were afraid that if this watch is priced at 1 lakh in India, but it's priced at 1,30,000 in Japan, they're going to face a lot of problems from Japan, or vice versa. But life has changed after that. There's much more transparency. The internet has done wonders also for our business.
Talking about consumer behaviors, see, I am from the online world, totally. I don't have much retail experience for what I do now. There is a fine balance between digital and online, online and the offline presence. For luxury watches, how is that balance achieved? I mean, I would imagine that the offline is very important in this case because the customer would like to experience the product or see it for themselves, just not online. But how do you see the shift happening now? Is it shifting more online? Or how important is the offline for you guys?
So from quite early on, we actually stopped to make a distinction between online and offline because it's actually omni-channel. Right? Basically what happens is that most of the communication happens online. So we've got a call center, we've got experts on watches, and all the discussion that happens with clients happens, obviously most of the leads come through the website, and a lot of the 80% of the discussion actually happens online. But the final experience, the actual purchase, always happens in the physical, in the store. In fact, almost as a policy, we do not deliver watches above 50,000 rupees. We are not delivering them at home. If it's a very good client or an old client, a person would carry the watch to the person's home and deliver it. That's a different matter. But an online sort of a courier delivery doesn't happen. Because we want the customer to experience what is special about the watch. Look, a watch is a completely unnecessary product. Right? especially a mechanical watch. It costs so much, it doesn't keep time accurately. There's a lot of hassle, to wind it up and, put it in a winder and all of that. It's a totally irrational purchase. तो अब कैसे लोगों को कन्विंस करें और बाद में उनको कैसे कन्विंस करें कि आपने 10 लाख रुपए की घड़ी खरीदी है, बहुत बढ़िया स्टेप था. So you got to, and that's the thing about luxury.
So that's an interesting, I did not know that above 50,000, there is, not holding you to the number, but it's important to have them come in, and I think that is the pivot of the matter there. Ethos obviously is the leading luxury watch brand in India now. You went public in 2022, I think. So how did, what prompted you to do that, one? Secondly, like I am at the stage in my venture where I am considering capital raise, etc. And how do you balance out a investor expectation which may be short-term versus a vision of the company, which is, as a founder, which is generally a longer-term vision? So is that a balance a difficult thing to achieve? I hope the question I'm asking is...
Well, the second question is very interesting, but what was the first one?
The first one is like, you went public in 2022. What prompted it besides the capital?
Well, it was the capital because we were, until 2017, 2018, of course we had done some funding rounds, but the model was still not profitable. We were working on a profitable model, but from 2016 up to 2019, there was a lot of disruption in our business. PAN card requirement came up, demonetization happened. Even though we were importing everything officially, but before demonetization and PAN card, we were officially allowed to sell against cash. We were allowed to take cash from a customer and put it in the bank. Once cash demonetization and the PAN card requirement came, we couldn't accept cash, and that was a big disruption because a lot of people were just buying expensive watches because they had cash. And one day to the other, we said, if your watch is more than 2 lakhs, sorry, no can do. But in 2019, 20, we started to make the business profitable. That was a very, very important part to the 3 or 4-pronged strategy that worked. And post-COVID, of course, the markets were booming. And the other big reason which prompted us was that from the very beginning, and that's probably going to be relevant for a lot of people, we had taken debt. It was safe debt, safe levels of debt, but there was debt, and all the debt was guaranteed personally by the promoters, basically by me. Right? And in my head, by then I was already planning for transition. 5, 7, 10 years, I'm going to step off. And there will be someone else managing the business. And I don't want someone else managing the business while I have my personal guarantees in. That's a big no-no. Right? And the only way to get out of personal guarantees is actually to repay the loan. You can never get out of a personal guarantee once you've given it. So, take it as you will. So that was a big reason, and we could do that. Of course, it was a very, very difficult IPO because when we had reached the stage that you couldn't pull back, that's when the market started to tumble. And on the second day of the IPO, out of the 3 or 4 days, on the second day of the IPO, the New York Stock Exchange, May 2022, it crashed by 4% on a single day. So more than 70% of our commitments just vanished one day before they were supposed to come in. It was very difficult to pull it through, but we did. And what we're very happy about is that every investor who invested then has made a 3 to 4x return in these 2.5, 3 years.
That's wonderful.
And those who didn't, who chose not to, I'm still great friends with them, and they're still waiting for an opportunity. Which brings me to the whole point about investors, right? So your question was that how do you investors' short-term interest versus companies' long-term interest, right? That's a very classic question. First of all investors will tell you, most investors will tell you we are long-term investors, right? But every quarter they will ask you, कि इसमें क्या हो गया? अब भाई long-term investor हो तो मत पूछना हर quarter. मैं quarter on quarter growth क्यों मेरे को चाँप रहे हो? You started with a 5-year plan. Ask me after 3 years. Yeah, what is it? Anyway, I think one of the things which as entrepreneurs we have to deal with is this. You have to win the trust of investors, but you have to know the balance between aligning your interest with, or aligning investors' interest with promoters, and knowing that one day the promoters' interest will not align with the investors. Until the interests are aligned, all investors are nice, very happy, right? The moment that phase passes, and as a promoter, you start to ask questions that, okay, what's in it for me? That's when 4 out of 5 investors will start to say, yeah, but why are you doing this? They will give you a lot of advice which actually does nothing for the promoter. And it only serves the interest of the investor. But the investor is here for a short ride. The investor is backing you today because he believes, rightly, there's nothing wrong. That's what every investor is meant to do, right? He's there until he or she can make money. When that is done, they're going to move to another. They're going to back another horse. You're going to be riding that horse all the time. Right? So you've got to manage the relationship with investors in such a way that A, it's very transparent. B, if the interests diverge, right, you have to be very transparent so your investors will trust you. And if you tell them, sorry, this is not working for me, and therefore I won't do it, they will understand. If you give me 2 minutes, I'll give you an actual example from my own business. Right?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So Ethos is held about 51% by KDDL. Ethos is a listed entity, KDDL is a listed entity. About 51% of Ethos is held by KDDL. And 51% of KDDL is held by me and my family. So that's how the control works. Right? Now there has been a consistent pressure or advice from investors कि आप इसको demerge क्यों नहीं कर देते? Why don't you give the KDDL shareholders directly the shares of Ethos? Demerge हो जाएगा. So the so-called holdco discount will go away, and the full price or value of the Ethos share will be available to the KDDL investor. For a while we kept discussing this, but about 2 years ago, we just said, sorry, we're not doing it. Why aren't you doing it? Because there's nothing in it for me. As a promoter, I can't sell my shares anyways. जितना मुझे dilution करना था कर लिया मैंने. And I will be left holding a small chunk of Ethos, vulnerable to all kinds of raiders from here and there. Why should I do it? Everybody has made enough money. Everybody has got a decent return, and they will continue to get decent returns. But it's not in my interest. My job is to give you above par returns, which I have done, and I will continue to do for the next 20 years. That you can get more, of course it's possible. But sorry, it doesn't align with my interest. We say it nicely, not like this. And we talk because we've got very long relationships with our investors. And we are very transparent with them, so it works. But this difference of time frame and aligning or non-aligning of interest is very, very important in my opinion.
I think transparency is quite key, despite you are able to hold your position the way you want it. But being transparent is a prerequisite, it's must do, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think transparency is extremely important. And one of the things that you have to do pretty early as an entrepreneur is to decide what is your ethical boundary. I'm not talking legal boundaries. because I think if you want to grow big, you have to make sure that you're 100% compliant. But sometimes ethical boundaries go beyond legal boundaries. Right? And you have to decide what is your ethical boundary, and that becomes enshrined in the values of what you do. And that is something by which you will judge everything and every person who works with you, your associates, your employees, even your investors. Right? So, and transparency, of course, has to be one of them, because if you're not transparent, you're not going to grow a big company, you're not going to get the right employees, and certainly not the right investors.
Thank you for that. I think I'll stop on the ethos questions and more about, there's a lot of young entrepreneurs here, founders here. So in your couple of decades or maybe longer entrepreneurial journey, there must be multitude of lessons that you've gone through, either hard ways or easier they may have come. So what is a couple of things or one top thing that you would like to say to the upcoming entrepreneurs and founders, especially the ones who are looking to raise capital, if there's any piece of advice?
It's hard to give one, but I'll give a couple. I'll save the most important one for the last. I already mentioned the ethical boundaries. I would like to say we're talking about IPOs, right? And for everybody who is in the startup phase or even beyond the startup phase, the IPO is like a huge goal out there. Because, the IPO will be done and, then everything is going to be fine. My one advice is that the IPO is never the goal. The IPO is a step to something much bigger. And the real challenge starts after the IPO. Because now you've got investors who are going to ask, who are going to demand, and you have to meet your promises. So be careful what you promise. Of course, you know that every investor will discount whatever you're saying, so you should adjust your pitch accordingly. But remember that the real test happens after the IPO, that you have to deliver on your promises. And relating to this is the thing that be careful that your image and your reputation is an extremely precious thing. आज कुछ भी बोल के आप पतली गली से निकल जाओ और एक बार आपको success मिल जाए, but if your reputation is questioned, it's very hard. Everybody who's a young entrepreneur, they'll probably get to an IPO stage in a couple of years, right? By the time you're 35, 40, you have an IPO. Then you are successful. And you may think that I'm going to retire. That's not going to happen. You have the IPO and soon you'll have another idea. And when you have the other idea, you will want to go back to the market. And you'll go back to the same investors. And if those investors have not had a good play with you, if your image is not clean, it's going to be very, very, very tough. And I don't have to take any names. You can look around the Indian stock market today and you can see who are the respected names and who find it very, very difficult. Two more things I'm going to say. One is, never underestimate the value of family support in the entrepreneurial journey. Without showing it, your family is a rock behind you. Never take them for granted. Everybody may disappear, and you will most likely, you will forget most of your friends because your work is going to consume most of the time. Your family will be behind you without making any demands. Never forget them. और आप work-life balance तो भूल ही जाओगे. वो बोलने की चीज़ है. 24/7 you will be worrying and thinking about your work. But your family is going to be nagging you कि नहीं, take some time off. That's one thing which I'll say never forget. And the last thing I want to say is, every entrepreneur goes through huge crisis once in a while, or most of the time. You have to ask yourself, you will ask yourself, why am I doing this? मेरे को इससे क्या मिलने वाला है? Right? Even if you say, I have this goal, and by the time that goal is reached, the goalpost, you will shift them. You will want to do something more. So you are constantly in a state of dissatisfaction कि अब ये भी नहीं हो रहा, ये भी नहीं हो रहा, ये भी हो रहा, tension चल रही है. But the last thing I want to say is, the destination is not the main thing. The journey is. So never forget to enjoy the journey. Take your time off. I'm telling you, in the 30 years, 40 years that I worked, there have been enough crises, enough tensions. But I've enjoyed this life because I've enjoyed the holidays, I've enjoyed all my hobbies. I found time for them, and I would suggest, please don't give up on those.
Those are some wise words. I mean, completely agree. We're going to open a Q&A,
Open
right?
the
I have
question.
one question, last question.
Yes. As an audience now? Okay, please
As
go
an
ahead.
audience. So we know your love for watches and fine wine. You're a connoisseur of wine and as well as watches. So what's your favorite timepiece in your collection?
Tough one.
That's like asking a grandmother, who's your favorite grandchild? Actually, when you get passionate about stuff like this, there's no one single thing, right? Because it depends on, for what occasion, for what reason, for the looks, for the complexity, for the engineering, for the innovation, for the history. There's so many things, right? So there are 15 or 20 timepieces that I can name as, just something which I admire a lot. But of course, and again, it's across price points. So difficult to name that, and everybody will have his or her own choice. Right? But yeah, the one watch that I wear more often than any other is the watch I'm wearing right now.
That's great. Now we open the floor for Q&A. Are there any questions from the audience? Any questions you would like to? Yeah, please. Can we pass on the mic here in the third row? It's not working.
Can't hear.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. The global launch of our Lubricate today.
Oh, the story is going back so long.
It's amazing to be part of something this big. We are starting with 6 references in different colors.
Hi, sir.
Hi.
Hi. So I was fortunate enough to attend the GPHG Awards in 2022 at the Delhi.
Nice.
And I'd like to tell you that it was a great experience. And I hope that you bring those awards again here sometime soon. And those of the people who don't know what GPHG awards are, can you please tell them what they are?
So GPHG stands for Grand Prix Horlogerie de Genève, the grand prize of horology in Geneva. Geneva is the center of watchmaking, high watchmaking in Switzerland. And the Grand Prix of horology is like the Oscars. So every year it happens in November, and about 14 or 18 awards are given to the best voted timepieces of the year. There's an academy of more than 1,000 experts and a jury of 24 that select the watches. And these watches, all the watches, the shortlisted watches, actually then tour 2 or 3 different cities in the world every year, different cities, and they are exhibited. And in 2022, we had the exhibition of these watches in Delhi. So that is what you were talking about.
Great. Thank you for answering that. Yeah, Arush.
Hi, sir. I'm Arush.
Hi, Arush.
Hi. I'm entrepreneur based out of Chandigarh. Been doing my thing for 10 years. Every time I meet a young founder here, one question that comes up very often is that how did you build something out of Chandigarh? Very difficult to find talent, etc. And each time when I'm asked this question, I think of you who've created such a big pan-India business right from here. What are your views on it? Like,
How can I say that Chandigarh is short on talent? Well, it is a challenge. Chandigarh is not the ideal place to build startups. But अब क्या करें? Lake है, सुंदर सड़कें हैं, सफाई है. Which better place to go for walks? And you know, it's still a very nice place to live. And some time back, about 30 years ago, my wife and I decided that whatever happens, we're not going to leave Chandigarh as the base. And it continues to be.
Thank you for staying back. Yeah, any yes.
Arush, you yourself have created a very successful one.
Yes.
So, well done.
You are too kind.
Yes, can we have last two questions? Yes, please go ahead.
Hi Yasho sir, Naveen this side from ATM Angels.
Hi.
Thank you for the insightful chat. I just have one question around counterfeits. So how do you perceive counterfeits in the Indian luxury segment market? Do you see it as something which devalues the brand or which creates awareness amongst the people? Or how should the young entrepreneurs perceive it or maybe safeguard the counterfeits?
Counterfeits is a fact of life. If you're successful, there will be counterfeits. Abhi, you know, HMT was a successful brand like 40 years ago, right? 30 years ago. Abhi tak uske counterfeits bik rahe hain. So counterfeit is a fact of life. Now, in the luxury industry, there was a time when people were very bothered about counterfeits. So Cartier and Rolex and all these guys used to collect counterfeits and put them under a road roller. And they used to make videos and, you know, put it on, this is what we do with counterfeits. After a time, they realized this is not going to be controlled. Today, actually, nobody bothers. There are customers who will buy the counterfeits, and there are customers who will not buy. जो counterfeit लेगा वो हमारा customer नहीं है, जो counterfeit नहीं लेगा वो हमारा customer है. End of story.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll take one last question. Yes, please.
Yeah. So hi sir, I'm Vansh and I'm based out of Chandigarh only. So I'm planning my own startup with my sister, Dr. Vanshika.
All the best.
Yeah. So I just have one question, which is of course a very simple question, I would say. So you know, when we are launching our own startup, we go through a lot of things and a lot of problems come every day. Of course, work-life balance तो होता ही नहीं है, सपने में भी काम ही चलता है. But sometimes when you're having problems, you just feel yourself, you know, so stuck as if you don't know how to approach solving it. So when we face problems, what is your approach towards solving the problems, you know, we generally encounter? Because there are a lot of problems, as you understand, when you're launching it.
Hard to answer that question. I understand what you're saying, but you know, there's no general answer to 100 different problems. Right?
Yeah,
sometimes,
I understand, but
sometimes, you know, the best thing is just to wait. Some problems, actually in entrepreneurs, na, दिमाग में कई problems, non-existing complications आते जाते हैं. You keep imagining कि ऐसा हो जाएगा, ऐसा हो जाएगा, ऐसा हो जाएगा. You tell yourself this too will pass. And just relax. Some 50% of the problems actually resolve by themselves. The other 50% you got to work on, okay? And the trick is to know which 50% you got to work on.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Bobby,
much.
I want to just say one thing before we go, because that video came on, it's interesting. Because I said that, you know, having achieved everything, you don't stop. So the latest thing, and I think it's a small start to something very big, is actually a brand that we purchased, a Swiss brand that we purchased. Maybe you read the news last year, we purchased a brand called Faverluba. Okay, and it's a small video about that. So the entrepreneur journey has reached Ek Padao, and the next one is on.
And there's been some addition of other luxury goods also, I believe, or is it just what?
No, so
I thought there were some collaborations and.
So there's another new vertical, Ethos Lifestyle, which is lifestyle luxury brands other than watches. So that's the other big story. Pranav is more into that.
So I think this is
Nitika is eyeing us to finish it, right?
No. I said I think this is the right cue to play the video now. I think due to the glitch, we played it earlier. So this is the time the brand which Mr. Sabu was talking about. Please play the video.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. The global launch of our Lubricate today.
Oh, the last story just going back so long.
It's amazing to be part of something this big. We are starting with 6 references in different colors.
Wow. I think I would like to conclude this session by saying what a grand chat and what a grand video. Huge round of applause for these two amazing people. What a journey. And we will not let you go without felicitating you. So I would request Mr. Manoj Sharma from BB Builders and Mr. Sachin Khosla, founder of DG Mantra, to kindly come on the stage and felicitate Mr. Yasho and Mr. Bobby. Guys, keep the applauses running. I think it was a great chat, which we witnessed in last 15 minutes. Let the applauses keep going, guys, please. Thank you for an amazing conversation and so much of insights for the aspiring entrepreneurs of our region. Thank you, Bobby sir, for being an amazing host to this fireside chat. Thank you, both of you. Okay, so after this amazing fireside chat conversation, we are back again with our flow of events, which was the startup pitching, the funding for which we are here. And to continue the stream, I would like to invite the next startup, Texas Smokehouse, founder Ishq Sethi and Ritesh Goyal on the stage, please. Please give them a big hand. Requesting all the investors who've gone for tea and coffee break to be back on their seats. It's time to write the checks again. Guys, welcome. You have 5 minutes for the presentation and 5 minutes for Q&A.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Introducing to you Texas Smokehouse, slow-cooked wood-smoked chicken, the next-gen quick-service restaurant. Hi, I am Ishq Sethi, founder, and he is Ritesh Goyal, my co-founder, Texas Smokehouse. As we know, the biggest problem of QSR industry is that all the QSRs are serving slow poison in the name of fast food, serving highly processed frozen food by deep frying, causing deadly diseases like cancer, heart strokes, and type 2 diabetes. It contains high levels of preservatives, added MSG, and colors that is really unhealthy for us, and we have no other choice if we go for a quick bite anywhere outside. So India has become the #1 hotspot of cancer as per the reports. And for that, we have introduced slow smoked chicken. We are a highly scalable model and meet all the standards of a QSR. That's our product family. And we offer 10 unique flavors in chicken. That's a glimpse of our well-engineered menu. You can see the 5-star rating on all the products that we have received. from the customers. We have been awarded as a restaurant with maximum 5-star reviews by Zomato in 2024. We had the highest late night orders in the city, and we are much ahead of our competitors in taste and quality with health benefits and unique flavors. That's the screenshot of our customer review that says that we are much better than KFC and Nando's in terms of taste and health benefits. You can see all 5-star reviews in a row. Next is the glimpse of our menu. And then that's the glimpse of our outlet. Next, please. So our vision is to become the largest smoked chicken QSR chain offering taste and health together. There is a huge business opportunity in this where the QSR industry is growing at a CAGR of 8.74% and market size is of 2.56 billion USD in India, with 13% rise in non-vegetarians and chicken snacks being the 4th most trending dish on Zomato, and we are here to fill this gap. We have different revenue verticals that generates revenue from day one, and that is our dine-in and takeaway sales. Then we have our aggregator sales on Zomato and Swiggy. Then the backbone of our stores is the healthy meal subscription plans that give us a regular revenue in the name of subscriptions. Then we have state-wise master franchises and city-wise unit franchisee models. We have royalty on sales, margins on raw materials supplied to the franchisee stores, and then the real estate tie-ups. We have an expansion plan of opening 50+ stores in 2 years with FICO, FOCO, and FOFO models. We already have 2 commitments for master franchises and 3 unit franchises in Tri-City. And having top leasing consultants aligned with us who are already working for different QSRs. Our customized equipment are 1/10 of the price of equipment used by any QSR. That drastically reduces our capex and helps us in easy expansion. Our SOPs, minimal staff training, chefless model, and automation processes makes it a child's play to run a QSR restaurant. Our subscription model acts as a backbone for the revenue of our restaurant. Sure. Revenue of our restaurant for the sustainable business that no other QSR can offer. That's our unit economics and high gross margins, and we have plans to open 100 franchisee and 8 company-owned stores in 5 years, doing a revenue of 100 CR with an EBITDA of 18% and net profit of 13%. And our ask is 1.25 crores at an equity of 8.3. Our back-end operations, expansion, and brand positioning. Food businesses are difficult to make, but once made, it generates generational wealth. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You can come in the center. Can you pass on the mic to me? Okay. So great presentation. Although you've said so much about food, we are already feeling hungry. But that's okay. And I think, if I'm not wrong, you've put up some stall where you're going to help us with some samples tomorrow?
Yeah, we are having samples ready tomorrow. So anyone who wants to eat the food, they can try it. And I'm sure once you'll have the food, you will have a totally different scenario of looking at us.
Great, great. Great pitch, guys. So now we are open for Q&A. Any investor who's interested in asking questions, can I have a raise of hand? Yes, please. Please pass on the mic.
Hi, thanks for the pitch first of all. You are positioning your products as healthier options in comparison to McD and KFC. How are you going about educating the customers on this? And also, have you got this feedback that your branding is quite similar to KFC, the color, the logo, etc.? Or is it just me?
Although this is totally a different branding from KFC because We have positioned ourselves as there is no competition in the market for KFC. KFC itself claims there is no competition there. And there is a huge gap in the market for a healthy snack option in a QSR format.
But how are you educating the consumers on it?
Sorry, I didn't
What
get
is your go-to-market strategy?
Go-to-market strategy, we have like influencer marketing, we have complete roadmap for our PR stories and everything. That is ready with us.
Any other questions from, yes, please.
What is your franchisee model? Do you have anything specific? The percentage you're going to pass on any royalty?
We have like master franchisees for each state, and then we have unit franchises for each unit. And we are into FICO, FOCO, and FOFO models.
So the percentages, anything defined for the royalty?
We'll be getting around 6% of the royalty from the sales, and around 8 to 9% margins in the raw material supply.
Okay. And you have just one store, right?
Right now, we opened up one store, and we have already finalized 3 unit franchises and 2 master franchises at the moment.
Okay. And what's the sale, average sale of daily average sale? Average sale.
Average sale, it takes a restaurant to set up a good number of sales of around like 8 to 10 months. And we opened it 6 months back, and we are doing an MRR of around 7 to 8 lakhs.
So how much does it take to set up a restaurant? How much you invested in opening the outlet, and what is the payback period you're working on?
See, our customized equipments, they're quite pocket friendly. So that enables our QSR to be very less on capex, and our booth model or a
So
like
what is the specific amount you spend?
that is around 15 lakhs, including your kitchen and the restaurant setup.
And when you say customized, you are designing the equipment yourself. So when it scales to a franchisee model, how is it going to be handled?
Well, we will be supplying our smoked chicken to all our unit franchises, and they will be heat and serve in our customized equipment.
Yeah, please. Can we pass on the mic here? You're not loud enough. Wait, Abhishek. Yes, please.
How about now?
Yeah, better.
All right. So you are saying that you will prepare the food in a central kitchen and then distribute it, correct?
Yes.
Now my only fundamental question is that you are smoking the chicken, right? This is curing in some sense.
Sorry?
Is it working?
No.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So you're curing the meat in some sense, and typically when you are, these are aromatics that are infused into the chicken with spices, with the all the aromatic compounds will effectively break down, and they will lose their texture.
Right. I got your point. The chicken we smoke in our central kitchen, and then we vacuum seal it, and we send it to any place in India. This juiciness, taste, and aromatics, that all remain intact, and that is the thing that we have cracked in our R&D phase.
And
we are getting it customized, made in India only.
where exactly?
We are getting it done from Kerala.
And which wood are you using in smoking this?
We are using oak wood.
Where are you sourcing it from?
We are getting that imported from US. We have specific vendors for that.
Okay, and what's the backstory? Have you cooked, like trained in this
What's
cuisine?
the backstory of starting this?
Backstory of starting was being a founder. This was my recipe. I used to do a backyard barbecue, and all my friends and family, they used to tell me that you should commercialize this. I was not from a hospitality background, but then eventually We went into it, and now from last 2 years, I'm 24/7 into it, and now know inside out of all industry standards. And we did all complete R&D for 8 months over the product, equipment, and supply chain to our different locations. And we are already in a process where if we crack that, then we will not be able, we'll be able to transport the chicken on a room temperature as well. We won't need any deep freezers as well for that.
Right, I think just in the interest of time, we'll have to kind of stop here. But now is the time for showing interest in Texas Smokehouse. Anybody who's interested from the investors can give a raise of hands. Anybody who's interested in at least trying their products can give raise of hands. Guys, you can eat at least, you know. They're giving free samples. Audience, you're going to visit their stall and try the samples? Yes or no? Yes. So I think once they eat, they would know what you are actually making. But
So
good pitch, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please give them a huge round of applause.
Nitika, one thing.
Yeah.
While I don't know if I'm interested yet, I'm happy to understand their hub and spoke model and the unit
Absolutely.
economics.
Absolutely. So you have a person who's interested. Don't leave him. He has a lot of money. Okay? Just catch him after this pitch. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much for a great presentation. And moving on to the next startup, we have Genetico, wherein we have Arjun Gupta. Genetico is making a very specialized software for experts, clinics, and diagnostic labs. And they're doing something wonderful in the health tech domain. So Arjun, over to you. 5 minutes for pitching. Please go ahead. All the best.
Check.
Yeah. Can we open the pitch deck, please? You can start with the introduction, maybe?
Sure.
Yeah.
Good evening, investors. My name is Arjun Gupta, and I'm the founder and CEO of Genetico Research and Diagnostics Private Limited. We are trying to help get better diagnosis, access to treatments, as well as experimental therapies for the patients in the field of rare and genetic diseases. So let's understand this. Rare diseases are those health conditions that affect a small number of people as compared to other common diseases in the general population. Now, there are about 11,000 rare diseases that affect 300 million people across the world. 25% of this patient population is expected to be in India. However, globally, 7,500 clinical trials are active right now, but only 79 have a trial site in India. Now, this is close to 30,000 crore worth of opportunity that we are missing out on. And the problem is not with the clinical trial industry in India. It is actually growing at a very healthy CAGR of 10+%. The problem essentially is with finding these patients. Where are these patients? So clinical trial recruitment serves as the biggest bottleneck towards unlocking this opportunity. Now, this is what Genetico is trying to do. So 80% of these rare diseases are genetic in nature and follow a very, very specialized protocol to diagnose. So we are first in Asia and fourth in the world who have built a very specialized software platform that helps them do this differential diagnosis, manage these patients better, as well as enable opportunities in research. Now, it also comes with a decision support system that essentially crunches the whole raw data of the case, makes it, does a lot of computations and annotate it to various databases to make this job very easier for the doctors. As far as traction is concerned, just recently AIMS Delhi has purchased our software, and AIMS Delhi essentially is a very big milestone because they are also the key center of excellence for all the centers of excellence of rare disease in India. So whatever they do, it is usually followed by the remaining centers of excellence. India has a policy for rare diseases, and about 12 centers of excellence are designated who together see about 42,000 patients a year, and the plan is to expand it to 40 centers of excellence. Now, our strategy is very clear and simple. We want to get our platform deployed in these centers so that we have an access of patient network that we can source for our business model. One of our key investor and advisor actually comes from this field who has validated this hypothesis. So essentially, he was managing director of IQVIA, one of the largest CROs in the world. So he validated, yes, this is the big challenge, and if you actually penetrate in this network, you will be extremely valuable for many companies. Now he's actually the CEO of Kiran Majumdar's company doing cell and gene therapies, which again validates from a pharma side of things that, per patient, they are spending at least 1 crore to enable the participation of a patient in the clinical trial. So it essentially unlocks a very, it's a tremendous opportunity. And also he's been ex-president of TiE Mumbai and a global board of trustees of TiE Global. Now our ask is for 3 crore rupees, half of which I have hard commitments for. I will not talk about the soft ones, I have many for that. And Amit Mukim is a key investor. Bhavin Bhagat, who's the TiE president Ahmedabad, is also investing, and the deal will be opened soon for the international chapters as well. We've received various grants, starting with BIRAC, and then very recently in January, a scale-up grant from MIT. The pipeline is about 1.25 crores, which I expect to double by the time we are midway through the year. But essentially, this is not where we want to make money. So my experience is more than 15 years from the field. I'm a biotechnology engineer. I've done my master's from the US, from University of Michigan. I have drug discovery experience in oncology. I have worked with a $200 million venture capital fund in the US. I've even started a vaccine company in the US. And besides that, I've been a product manager for bioinformatics softwares, which helped me understand how this research works, and which is what gives me a very 360-degree view of what can be done once we have created a giant funnel in India for the patient, which does not exist today. And essentially, we might end up monopolizing this space altogether. So I think I've got 20 seconds remaining. Happy to take questions.
Great. I think a huge round of applause and a very crisp pitch. Guys, come on. I think these startups today are doing an amazing job of doing an amazing presentation. And now the round is open for Q&A. Any questions? Yes, please pass on the mic here. Can we please pass on the mic quickly?
In that 1 year, what has really changed in terms of tractions, partnerships, product evolution?
Right, so the biggest change is that AIIMS Delhi has been cracked. It took us 9 months to get through their purchase process. That was very intense for us. Now what that has done is now many smaller or other centers of excellence simply attach a PO of AIIMS Delhi, and the process has become very simpler. We have really drilled deeper into how government purchasing works. So that is one, so which is enabling more sales and more purchases down the line in this year. The other big piece is that we've got Amit Mukim on the board, That is a really big piece, because every time we have connected, I mean, people say great stuff, but since nobody from the field like him is validating it, that becomes a challenge. So now when he's on board, that has actually gained, given us a lot of momentum. So these are the big ones. Other than that, 45 lakh rupees I've done in the last 3 months. So now we are expecting that to ramp up.
Great, thanks.
Any other questions from the investors? Yes, please, pass on the mic.
So just explain, how does it work? Your app, how does it work actually?
So essentially what happens, the patient comes to the doctor, and the doctor has to collect a pediatric visit. It will take at least 30 minutes in a relaxed setting, and in a place like AIIMS, it takes about 20 minutes. Now, very specialized tools are needed for this. For example, one you see here, which follows a concept of genetics, builds a family tree and whatnot. Then there are things like, they will put in a free text of what they are seeing in the patient. We have an NLP-based algorithm that will extract the relevant medical terminology, annotate it with the relevant databases, and then give you a ranked list of conditions. As a doctor or somebody will have to invest time in doing those calculations manually, annotating against databases. So a lot of time save happens there. And then at the end, one of the biggest takeaways is on the research. Because these doctors are also the people who file for ICMR grants and so on, when they present this data, they are able to get the grants, which is where the biggest hook is. that data is not with the COEs. They have seen 20,000 patients. If you ask them, how many patients do you have of this particular disease, they don't have an answer. So these kind of things kind of really appeal to them, but 5 years of engineering has gone into it, by the way.
Just two follow-up questions. So what is the source of your data? And second is, how does monetization work?
So the source of our data is very high authority databases, but the thing is that you need to know how to use that. So I've been using that for the past many years in the US. So using that data and also literature, supplementing it with the literature. So that these are the sources that we use for data, which is the most high authority which is available today. Now, the second point about monetization. So currently, you know, we are selling the software, but we are not a software company. We might start deploying this software, you know, without any cost, because the real monetization will happen when somebody wants to do a 12-patient clinical trial and is willing to deploy about 12 to 24 crore rupees for that. So that is where we want to play. That model needs to be built out, which is where we need the money right now, and also to strengthen our position, because there is nobody in the market capturing these centers. So my current focus, laser sharp, is okay, keep on cracking these centers, strengthen my team, and also figure out the monetization plan. I'm already talking to CROs and pharma, and one of our advisors is actually a healthy pharma.
Yeah, any other questions? Yes, please.
Because I have analyzed this sector for past 1 year, and I just want to understand, because if we look at the global genomics data, 80% of data originate from the Caucasian data points. And we are in India. Let's say if we compare any mutation with your data set, then it will not
play with genomic data just as yet, but I am an expert in what you're talking about. We are doing whatever we can with the proxy data that is available, but I'll come back to my startup. So my startup comes into play when a doctor sees a patient with all kinds of symptoms in lungs and heart, and they can't make sense out of it. So they use this platform to first save that data. In the process, my software does a lot of things and saves time for them and bring those insights out, basis which they can decide, acha, this is this disease or this disease, now let me order the right test. Once you order the right test, then this kind of problem comes, but there is no way out.
So what is your source of truth? Let's say if any mutation is come.
So we are not dealing with mutations again. I am dealing with symptoms of the patient, the family history of the patient. Source of that data is medical literature, Indian papers, and then there are global databases which can be segregated for population and whatnot. So there are technical aspects. Happy to talk offline about it.
I think you can, since it's a very technical question, please take it offline with him. I think in the interest of time, Q&A is over. So now we would want to see the raise of hands for the interest in Genetico. Okay, that's a good number. Please capture the picture. Is somebody there from the team? Okay, great. Yeah. So you know whom to meet post the pitching session, right? You have good interest. Great job, Arjun. Thank you for being here. Please give him a huge round of applause.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Guys, the event also, I feel, you know, it's going down. So keep the applauses running and the energy high in the room. We have next startup, Sugar. Again, a local startup from our own very region. We have Anuj and Anchal pitching today, the co-founders of Shoe. Come on, show some energy. Okay, all the best. Yes, please go ahead.
So we have to use this now?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Anuj and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Sugar. So Sugar is a shoe care brand that helps you keep your shoes looking new and fresh for longer. So just to introduce my team, so I have two other co-founders who are Ankit and Saurabh, and we've also onboarded Mayank Jain as an advisor, who is an ex-CPO and head of marketing at Snapdeal.
I am Anjal Jota and currently I head the marketing at Sugar. So just narrating a few instances that has happened with everybody, and I speak for everybody. Stepped on cow dung, getting late for a party, and you've taken out your clothes, made your hair, but somehow you feel your shoes kai bari gande hote hai, wish they were cleaner, but you eventually go out and ignore it. It has happened to everybody, even your child, even me, even my mum, everybody. But my big question here is that why shoe care is always ignored. We were taught in school, but not anymore. We just don't pay attention, although it is a problem. But I'll tell you why. See, whenever we wear shoes, you invest a considerable amount of time, money. It represents your profession, your style, your comfort. But there is lack of awareness. There's so many shoes. In this room, each and every individual is wearing different style, different color, different texture of shoe. So we actually don't have the awareness of how to clean it. There is no product. When I talk about, I have my hair, so I have a shampoo for it. I have my skin, I have my toner and specific creams for it. But when I talk about shoes, there is absolute vacuum of any product or brand that is available in the market. There is nothing. And thirdly, time. We value time. When I talk about time, we don't have time to put in the shoes in the washing machine, leave it out for 3 days, and then that happens once in a year. And now not even that, because we have 5-6 pairs, each one of us. But this problem is taken care of by Sugar, that is #LoveYourShoes.
So at Sugar, we are not starts from rupees 300 and goes up to 3,000 rupees. We are also imparting knowledge of their shoes, and our products give a very, very quick and efficient results. So within just 10 minutes, you can take your shoe from dirty to clean. So talk about my product range. So these are our product range. So we have all the products for cleaning, protection, storage. And these are few of our best sellers. So this is the ultimate shoe cleaning kit with which we launched our brand, and we were the first Indian brand to launch this kit in India. And it can take your shoes from this to a cleaner one within just 10 minutes. And to talk about this stain repellent, which creates an invisible layer on your shoes, and it repels all the dirt, mud, and spills. Then we have shoe cleaning wipes. These are on-the-go cleaning and can clean your shoe within just 1 minute. So these are crease protectors. So these are solution to that. And then for storage, so people who like to display their shoes, who are sneakerheads, we have a storage solution from them as well. So talking about market opportunity, last year 28 billion worth of shoes were sold in India, out of which 4 billion worth of sneakers were sold. So that if we capture just 10% of that money is spent on shoe care, so that gives us a SAM of 400 million. And if we capture just 10% of that market, that gives us a SOM of $40 million. Now talking about target audience.
So our main target audience is between 18 to 45 years of age. They are tech savvy like each one of us. Obviously content creators, influencers, people like me. And also outdoor adventurers, motorbikes, the people who go on hiking, and lastly, busy professionals. You know, they're on the go, one meeting to the other, so they need something that's really quick, really effective, but also affordable. So that's our target audience. Amongst a few celebrities we have from the sports industry, celebrity entertainment industries, and no, they're not PR'd. They actually ordered, and we've sent them, they paid money. But more important it presents is the shoe care is for everybody, no matter in which field you are. It's not just for people who are on the stage, it's for people like you and me who are in this meeting room, meeting each other. So that's what Sugar signifies here. It's a premium brand that is affordable, and it is for all walks of life, for everybody, for each one of us.
So the question arises if shoe care is even a category. So earlier this category was dominated by the foreign players. However, a few Indian brands have also been introduced in this category. However, few lack affordability and few lack high quality products. But our products are right at a sweet spot where we offer high quality products at a very, very competitive pricing.
Take 10 seconds and
Yeah. So we launched our brand in August 2021, and in the first year we did a revenue of 10 lakh rupees. And then after, in 2022-23 financial year, we did a revenue of 2.4 CR. In the last financial year, we did a revenue of 3.85 CR. And for this financial year, we are projecting a revenue of 5.5 CR. And for the next financial